I've decided to make some videos about the book of Revelation. My goal is to remove some of the mysteries from the book and also to inspire people to read it again. Read the book of Revelation once again, but this time with a different point of view. I hope to teach some key things that seem to be missing from other videos on the book of Revelation. You can find thousands of them all over the internet. And I think that you will benefit if you persevere with my long-winded explanations. So please continue watching these videos. The first thing I'd like to explain about the book of Revelation is why it's written in such a mysterious way. There is a reason, and once you understand that reason, it should inspire you even more to dig deeper into it so that you can in fact understand what it means. The book of Revelation itself explains that it is a mystery, and the reason why it's a mystery can be better ascertained through another scripture which can be found in the book of Matthew in the New Testament. And I'd like to read that scripture to you, and once you understand that scripture, I can then explain why the book of Revelation is a mystery. We'll solve the mystery by understanding another mystery. So I'll read that scripture to you. The scripture's in Matthew chapter 4, and I'll read verse 5 and 6. Here it is. This is about Jesus Christ. Where, right after he was baptized, he was tested by Satan. Here's the scripture, verse 5. Then the devil took him along into the holy city, and he stationed him upon the battlement of the temple, and said to him, If you are a son of God, hurl yourself down, for it is written, He will give his angels a charge concerning you, and they will carry you on their hands, that you may at no time strike your foot against a stone. Jesus said to him, Again it is written, You must not put Jehovah your God to the test. So, why does this help us understand why the book of Revelation is a mystery? The reason why this scripture is important is because it proves beyond a doubt that Satan, the devil, reads the Bible. He said to Jesus, For it is written. So Satan, at that time, had already read the Old Testament scriptures and used them to put Jesus to the test. He said, For it is written. And so Satan reads the Bible. It doesn't mean that he understands it, but he does read the Bible. So if Satan read the Old Testament scriptures, has he now also read the New Testament scriptures, including the book of Revelation? Well, the obvious answer is yes, he has. So Satan reads the Bible, but there is proof positive that he does not properly understand it. What's that proof? Well, if Satan had known and understood the Old Testament scriptures, then he would not have manipulated the circumstances in the first century that led to Jesus Christ's crucifixion and eventual resurrection. Why? Because that is exactly what Jesus Christ wanted him to do. That is what God wanted to happen. He wanted Jesus Christ to be crucified. Jesus knew that. He was well aware of what would happen to him. Satan was not aware of the benefit that the rest of mankind would receive from this crucifixion and the ransom sacrifice that Jesus Christ provided, which gives us the opportunity to renew our relationship with God. If you are a well-read Bible student, then you'll know in the New Testament there are some scriptures where the apostles and Paul talk about the sacred secret. And when they're talking about the sacred secret, the thing that's being kept secret, is exactly that. The secrets are being kept from Satan. Satan does not know these secrets. In fact, even the apostles did not properly understand the reason why Jesus Christ was crucified. And it was until some time later that they began to fully appreciate the significance of Jesus Christ's sacrificial death. And it's quite obvious that Satan did not appreciate that sacred secret. The secret was being kept from him, from Satan. I hope you realize that if Satan did understand this secret, then he would not have manipulated the circumstances which led to Jesus Christ's crucifixion. And so the Bible was carefully written so that Satan would not understand. He would be dragged along with hooks in his mouth to do the things that God knew that he would eventually do. That's very profound. So already I hope you're beginning to appreciate why the book of Revelation also is a mystery. Because if it was not a mystery, then Satan himself would understand it. So now I'd like to read a scripture from the book of Revelation. It's in Revelation 12 and verse 9, and this is the scripture about Satan being cast down to the earth. The battle in heaven, and Satan's cast down to the earth. And so here's the scripture, Revelation 12:9. It says, "So down the great dragon was hurled, the original serpent, the one called Devil and Satan, who is misleading the entire inhabited earth. He was hurled down to the earth, and his angels were hurled down with him." So this scripture is significant. It's telling us that Satan will be misleading or deceiving all the inhabitants of the earth. So now we're in quite a predicament. We're being misled. We will be misled by Satan. So if we're going to be misled by Satan, what can God do about it? Well, he could write a book which explains how Satan will deceive us. But the problem is, if God wrote a book about how Satan is going to mislead us, then Satan would read that book and would choose some other way of misleading us. So there's really only one option. God needs to give us an opportunity to find out and understand how Satan is misleading us, but he has to do it in such a way that Satan himself won't properly understand it. And so Satan will continue to mislead us according to the way God knows he will, and yet Satan himself will not realize that in the book of Revelation, if you carefully read it, you will see how Satan is misleading the entire inhabited earth. And that is why the book of Revelation is a mystery. It's a mystery, a secret from Satan. It's not a secret from people. The book of Revelation is not a secret from people who really want to understand it. And in fact, in the first few verses of the book of Revelation, it says to read it out loud and that you will be blessed for reading this book of Revelation. How will you be blessed? You'll understand it. You will see through Satan's unrighteous deception. Isn't that beautiful? Wasn't that a nice thing for God to do? Write a book for us that Satan couldn't understand? So no wonder it's mysterious and difficult, because it has to be borderline. It has to be too difficult for Satan to understand, and yet not too difficult for a person who's willing to persevere to properly understand this book of Revelation. So now are you inspired to read it? To go back and read it out loud to yourself and follow that admonishment in the first few verses of the book of Revelation? Read it and you will be blessed. So usually in a book, the first few words of a book set up the theme and identify the audience. And the book of Revelation is the same. That's what it does in the first few verses. So I should read verse 1 of chapter 1 of the book of Revelation. So here we go. A revelation by Jesus Christ which God gave him to show his slaves the things that must shortly take place. And he sent forth his angel and presented it in signs through him to his slave John, who bore witness to the word God gave, and to the witness Jesus Christ gave, even to all the things he saw. Happy is he who reads aloud, and those who hear the words of this prophecy, and who observe the things written in it, for the appointed time is near. So that sets up the whole book of Revelation. It tells you who it was written by and who it was written for. So who was the book of Revelation written by? It was written by John, the same John who bore witness to God and to the witness that Jesus Christ gave. Yes, it's the same John who wrote the other things in the Bible. The Gospel of John and the letters of John. He bore witness to Jesus Christ. It's the same John. The Apostle John, one of the 12 apostles. And who is he writing the book for? To show his slaves. A revelation by Jesus Christ which God gave him to show his slaves. Who are Jesus Christ's slaves? They're John's brothers. They are the people who are in the same position as the Apostle John. So John is talking to his peers. This book of Revelation is written for the saints, the same people who have a similar blessing to the Apostle John.